Hey there, Jets fans. Let's talk trade on today's video. Namely, could the Jets acquire current Chicago Bears quarterback Nick Foles? This idea comes to us from Fansided, both the Bears and the Jets side, so somewhat even, I suppose, on that one. And I'll make note background here. The New York Post had reported the Jets and Bears have had trade talks around Nick Foles, but that a trade is still unlikely despite some familiarity there with GM Joe Douglas from his time in Philadelphia with Nick Foles. A trade does appear unlikely, but it does make some sense. We'll get into the pros and cons, but first, I wanted to run through the trade ideas floated out by Fansided. First up, they've got 3 of them in total. Nick Foles to New York in exchange for a 2022 sixth-round pick. That's, I think, about the right value. All these packages very similar. The second one was basically the same, except the Jets also get a future 7th-round pick back, so not a whole lot in terms of value there. A then different trade idea was their third. Foles and a 5th-round pick in exchange for a 6th-round pick and cornerback Lamar Jackson. That was cornerback, not the Ravens quarterback who I guess Lamar's fine. This is kind of bordering on, for me, the Bears just giving up a pick to dump the Nick Foles contract, which, as we'll get into, is not very good. Now, Foles can be a solid backup quarterback. I don't think he's someone at this stage of his NFL career, barring the whole weird stuff in terms of him suddenly being great in the postseason in that one season where he was godly for Chip Kelly, that he's someone you want starting. But as a backup, as we'll get into for New York, yeah, I think he'd end up being an upgrade. So what would you guys do, Jets fans? Would you trade for Nick Foles? Get your votes in for me in the comment section. Type in Y for yes you would, or type in N for no you would not. I think a big reason why the answer in the end might end up being no is because of the contract, and this is a very important part, so we'll spend some time on it. Now, the Bears cannot cut Nick Foles. If they cut him, he takes up a bigger portion of their salary cap by a couple million than what he would be if he's stuck on the roster. So that's a no-go. If he's traded to, say, the Jets here, the Jets would owe him $4 million this year. They could not cut him. They would save no money. Next year, Nick Foles' cap hit becomes $8 million. And with the way the deal is structured, the Jets would owe him $5 million even if they cut him. So because of that, you're looking at $4 million this year, $8 million next year, and at minimum, $9 million for one season. That's a little bit more than I think any NFL team wants to pay right now for Nick Foles. Now, if the Bears can maybe eat some more of that money, which, again, is a lot easier said than done, it's very complicated. So because of the way the Bears redid the Nick Foles contract when they acquired him, they've locked him in at minimum to a team's roster for this upcoming season.